got sympathy. I crossed Huron Lake in the barrel myself using hands as paddles. Lived off the carp. What jumped at me? Now, you swum that river,
No,
ain't you?
Jode, actually, I was born here.
What you know about hard work? Ain't never swum no river.
Many immigrants, they
I say you
deserve
ain't
to
never
be...
knowed a man till you seen his teeth. Show him your teeth. Too many teeth rotting out shows you're dishonest in the mind. You got strong manful teeth, Bartol. I apologize.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That is our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris.
And I'm Ian.
And I'm Vincent.
Young Vincent, it's always good to see you in here.
Oh, thank you. I'll ignore how patronizing that sounds. I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you.
It was meant completely in a patronizing way.
Well, you were, I think my yeah, I am turned on. Sorry, it's just my volume's a little low. You were making fun of his arthritis earlier, so I mean, it's fair.
I made a comment about it.
The least I could do, right?
Okay, old man Reitman.
Old man time. That's what they call me. But, I do try to stay up to date with some things. Satire is one thing I love to keep up with. For years and years, I had the book of The Onion, The Onion's History of the World.
There's a bunch of Onion books they came out with.
Yeah. I was a loyal supporter, but then it just kind of, I don't know. They seemed to take a turn when they got acquired by, I'm trying to remember who bought them. They seemed to kind of tilt to the left a little bit more than they had in the past. But
I remember. I'm sorry to interrupt. I remember who it was. It was Univision.
Univision.
Yeah. And they bought like a bunch of, I think they bought Gawker, The Onion, Deadspin. There was a series of sites. If you go to the Onion site, it shows like their family of sites that they have, either at the very bottom of the page or somewhere, and you can see what they're all related to now.
That's okay.
So Univision, all right, that explains BuzzFeed's leftward turn.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so tell me about Univision.
Well, Univision, I mean, I remember from Univision, I think it was Jorge Ramos or some reporter back when Trump was running back in the primary in like 2015 or 2016. There was some reporter who was being very, very rude to him and just like shouting out questions when he was speaking. And all he said was, go back to Univision. And there you go. Then yeah. So that's my experience of Univision.
I remember growing up seeing Univision on cable. Univision.
I remember that too. It was always the channel I skipped because I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, but there's beautiful women on that channel, though.
I never really thought of. Maybe I'm sort of racist. Maybe I only like, if it's Scandinavian, exercise videos, I would have been all over that. But apparently I draw the line. I don't like to admit that.
Does Univision own Telemundo? That was a Spanish channel?
I don't think so.
I believe so.
So that makes sense. There's Teletoon, which is a French language one in Canada. So,
I did not know that. Well, as we're talking about The Onion, another site popped up that I think really blew The Onion out of the water, and that was the Babylon Bee. Are you familiar with this?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I'm very familiar with the Babylon Bee.
So some people call this a right-wing version of The Onion. I don't know about that. I've always seen a lot of interesting things on the Babylon Bee that actually seem more of a libertarian. I suspect some libertarian is working at the Babylon Bee.
I don't know anything about the guy, but they are having a Babylon Bee editor speak at the Liberty Forum.
Interesting.
That's the Free State Project puts on a yearly convention in a hotel. I think it's coming up in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But I think he's the keynote. So they don't really have any big names this year, so he's like the big name, I guess.
Okay. If you're a Babylon Bee fan, that could be interesting.
Yeah, and you could probably test him and see if he's actually a libertarian. Ask him some libertarian questions.
From my experience, it seems pretty equal opportunity, and I think that's why it's so popular among people. I just typed it in the front. One of the front articles I have here is everyone on the internet awarded honorary degree in international affairs.
Perfect. So I always see them as pretty much picking on the left, the right, libertarians supporting libertarian ideas, but then picking on libertarian ideas. So
good. That's the way they should do it.
Well, when you say libertarian, do you mean just like anti-establishment, or libertarian as in like pro-LP, the party, or pro-voluntarism? Or what do you mean by that? Because I see a lot of people, they refer to things as being libertarian when it's just anti-establishment.
Yeah, I see more than that. I mean, I've seen them post things that, reference economics and Hayek and and Mises, and it's just kind of crazy. But they pick on Bush. Or excuse me, they pick on Trump. They pick on all the people on the left, all the people running for Democrat. I mean, who cares? The point is, it's satire. But this story comes to us from a website we really don't know anything about, but we did check Twitter to verify that this actually happened.
What's the website?
It's called LifeSite, lifesitenews.com. This story is titled CNN Reporter Takes Aim at Conservative Satire Site Babylon Bee for, quote, misinformation. Okay, if you're reading a satire website and it's satire, would you sit there and go, you're publishing misinformation? And wouldn't they just say, yeah, that's the point?
The fun. That's part of the fun.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they know, or at least it was, I forget the name of it. It was, what was the name of the CNN reporter? I mean, I've never heard of this said person before.
Donnie or Donnie O'Sullivan.
So, okay, some Irish name. I mean, usually I'm familiar with the people at CNN, but I don't think they most likely knew it was, because this isn't the first time Snopes would, quote, fact check the Babylon Bee satire. And I mean, so many people these days, at least my age and, older too, all they do is look at the headline. They can't get past the headline. And, Babylon Bee sounds like a ridiculous name, but to them, they probably, don't know what Babylon is at all, or the reference. So
there's a Sacramento Bee. I mean, that's a respected newspaper by, I guess, people in Sacramento.
Oh, geez, never heard of it. But so, I mean, I doubt that they actually thought it was satire. I mean, I think some of these people are so stupid and they don't bother doing any research, but they most likely thought this was I shouldn't say legit news site, but I don't think it ever occurred to them that this was satire, because a lot of these people are humorless.
Well, Donnie O'Sullivan did tweet, quote, to put this in perspective, this is the same number of engagements from the top New York Times and CNN stories on Facebook had over the past week. A lot of people sharing this, quote, satirical, unquote, story on Facebook don't know it is satire. So that's what he's saying. The story in question, let's get into this. A CNN reporter expressed alarm on Twitter that Christian conservative satire site Christian conservative. I've never.
Is it because Babylon is in the title and that's like got some Christian?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, Babylon is at least in the Book of Revelation. Babylon is what they describe as the whore of Babylon, and Babylon is like the city that represents all like the evil and sin in the world.
So he expressed alarm on Twitter that Christian conservative satire site Babylon Bee was peddling, quote, misinformation in a stinging piece that had Democrats flying the American flag at half-mast in honor of a terrorist who had been targeted and killed by the U.S. military, referring to the execution, assassination, killing, droning of the Iranian military leader in Iraq earlier this week. Reporter Donnie O'Sullivan, who notes on Twitter that he covers, quote, disinformation, unquote, for CNN. That seems like a sort of a built-in job. States on Twitter that he is concerned that more people were reading the Babylon Bee's satire about the death of terrorist Qasem Soleimani. That cannot be the way. I am obviously mispronouncing Soleimani.
Soleimani, I thought that's what it was.
There you go. I'm going with yours. Titled, quote, Democrats call for flags to be flown at half-mast in grieve death of Soleimani. Then reports about the event put out by the New York Times and CNN. The article appeared after news came that the United States had killed Iranian General Soleimani in a drone strike in Iraq that congressional Democrats claim was unwarranted. In response,
so they're just mad because people were sharing the satire. about this.
And I
think
think
story is about.
Really what it's about is he's frustrated that more people shared the satire than actually shared the news.
Well, quote news when we're talking about CNN.
That's a good point.
I'd use that word very loosely when it comes to CNN.
Right. And more often, I think CNN is the one publishing satirical stories because I can't imagine that actually came out of someone's brain. 855-450 free. What do you think? Is satire free speech? This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Your product is absolutely amazing. I can't tell you how my life has been changed so completely. I'm just at a loss to describe. I don't know how I could ever tell Dr. Howard and Susan, his dear wife, how much I deeply appreciate all the work they put into this magnificent product. I mean, there's so many things that have improved. And I'm only just beginning.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom, 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. You can also hit us up on Discord. Discord is a really cool app. All you got to do is, you can find out more at discord.freetalklive.com. How to connect to us. You'll use your high-speed internet connection, your quality microphone on your laptop, on your phone, anything. There's a client for every platform, and you will sound like you are in the studio with us. The Essence Studio tonight is Chris.
It's Ian.
And Vincent.
We have been talking about this horrendous news that's coming out of the Babylon Bee. Some people are saying it's fake news, like the Babylon Bee does not tell the truth. Isn't that amazing? It's not a news site. It's a satire site. I don't think Babylon Bee has ever...
It says it, by the way, right at the top. The Babylon Bee, your trusted source for Christian news satire. So, yeah, I guess they do call themselves Christian satire. Does that mean they are Christian, or are they satirizing Christianity?
I don't know.
Can you do both? Can you both be a Christian and make fun of Christianity?
Certainly.
From what I've seen from it, it doesn't satire like Christianity in of itself, like the Bible. What it does is satires like the people who call themselves Christians. Yeah, like it was. I just hear on the one of her latest articles, Sean Hannity, Joel Osteen, Unitarians. So it's not like specifically targeting the religion. It's targeting the people. And as I said, like I don't know if I use this word too often. It's equal opportunity, where I think it's a decent site that's like fair when they have right above the article making fun of Sean Hannity is making fun of Joe Biden.
Right.
And I think that's why so many people like it, because it isn't overtly like one side or the other. It's just, what humor and satire is supposed to be. It's supposed to be universal towards everything.
Skewering everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what gets shared on social media are things that are funny. Why do you think people post stupid pictures of their cats doing stupid things? I mean...
Because people want to laugh. They want to feel good.
Right.
They don't want to see stories about... This is why most people don't listen to news talk radio. This is why most people don't watch the news. They don't read the news. They don't want to see bad news. They don't want to see stories about people being assassinated.
Well, Donnie O'Sullivan feels that instead of laughing at the Babylon Bee, you should be watching CNN and get
this is a CNN reporter?
Thoroughly depressed. You should watch about the United States... basically, I don't know if they've called it an act of war, but it's an act of war when you take out the second in charge of another country. It's an act of war.
Oh, yeah, everyone outside of the U.S. federal government will tell you that.
Well, if Mike Pompeo was assassinated by the Iranians, you'd bet it would be an act of war.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's like he's like ninth down in line.
Yeah, I think I believe I probably should know this. I think he's the Secretary of State, so that's...
Wouldn't that be third?
I don't know.
Well, no, third is Nancy Pelosi. The Speaker of the House is third.
Oh, the Speaker, that's right.
Right.
Then fourth is Secretary of Defense. Then maybe it would be fifth?
I don't know.
I'm unsure.
I know he's not like waiting in the wings. He's not Alexander Haig. Do you guys remember that? Am I showing my age?
He was in the Reagan administration.
Yeah, I think he was. He might have been Secretary of State, but when Reagan got shot, he quickly got up in front of a microphone and said, "Don't worry, folks, I'm in charge."
This is the same guy who I know who he is because of a famous quote, "Let them protest so long as they pay their taxes." That's attributed to Alexander Haig.
It doesn't sound unlike him.
Yeah.
Haig was very much a Reagan Republican and a former general. So
Secretary of State is fourth in the line, and it is Mike Pompeo.
Right. Well,
so there's a Vice President, Speaker of the House, which is Pelosi, President pro tempore of the Senate, and then finally Secretary of State.
Who's in line if aliens nuke Washington, D.C.?
It's whoever isn't in Washington at the time, I think. And I know this from, what was it, Battlestar Galactica, the 2003 version. Because I think somewhere it's like part of... first off, there's a continuity of government where if, let's say, the entire cabinet is taken out, then there's always going to be someone who's right. Who has the power, right? But I think somewhere I read that like one of these people has to be away from like a nuke blast range or something, just so something like that doesn't happen. I think there's like some series of Kiefer Sutherland where he's like... something something obscure like the Secretary of Agriculture or something, and everyone else in Washington dies from a nuke attack, and he's suddenly president.
See, we don't get just our news here from the Babylon Bee on Free Talk Live. We also go to Kiefer Sutherland
TV shows, yeah. And obviously the way to save a country is through torture. Any Kiefer Sutherland show, you got to save, in order to save lives, you have to torture brown people.
But to come back to this reporter, Dory somebody, O'Sullivan? From Donnie, sorry, I couldn't read it from here. Donnie O'Sullivan from CNN. Look, I'm sorry, buddy, but you're working for a dying industry. I mean, CNN was the first of its kind cable news network, right? That was
24 hours.
24-hour cable news. That was, a new concept in 1988, I think.
A game changer at the time.
Yeah, so, and then since then, they have... they're waning in their relevance. There's not as many people that are subscribing to cable television, period, today. There's a lot of people who are cord cutters. They're out. And they're down, and MSNBC's down, and Fox News is down. I mean, just the total volume of viewers to all of these channels is on the way down. They're dying off. Their audience is dying off in the same way that newspapers are losing audience.
Even websites now, these alternative news sites are starting to go down. I think it was Vice needed to be injected with cash from Disney. Oh, yeah. I believe
Disney
it was
bought Vice.
I think they had to inject like $200 million or something into Vice to keep it propped up. A lot of these, it's like, when Gawker got taken down by the Hulkster. It just sort of showed how these, a lot of these news sites don't have as much money as one would think they do.
True.
No, how could they?
We're going to go to the Discord where we've got Turd Ferguson. Turd, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yo, yeah, what up, guys? It's Turd Ferguson calling. Yeah, I appreciate you taking my call. So let me give you a quick rundown of what I'm calling about. I'm calling about the Libertarian Party, actually.
Okay.
But I'm actually pretty worried about the Libertarian Party currently, because even though even though I talk a lot of trash on them and I get mad at them a lot, I do feel like I guess I am a libertarian technically, and I'm just worried because we got this great we had this great boost in voting, this great jump in voting in 2016. I mean, think what you want about Gary Johnson, but he did get us that boost in votes in 2016. But
yeah, but it could have been a monkey, shouting, screeching monkey that got more votes in 2016 because people didn't want Donald Trump and they didn't want Hillary Clinton.
The LP blew it. I think they could have had someone better.
Yeah, if the LP had put a principled candidate forward, I think they would have done just as well, if not better.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you might be right about that. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know about that. But at least we got more votes than we ever had before. But I'm not.
But
sure
what's it worth?
Right.
What do you mean we?
Yeah. What is it worth if you got a vote from somebody who didn't understand what they were voting for?
We're going to hold you over.
That isn't worth jack.
Yeah, I don't know. Another political party, does that solve our problems? I know 2 doesn't work. 855-450-FREE. What do you think? Is it time for a third political party in this country? Or can Americans only handle 2 choices, Coke or Pepsi? This is Free Talk Live.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
After a flood of customer complaints, Kay Jewelers issued an immediate recall this week of over 2 million cursed engagement and wedding rings. The company's director of public relations released an apology to those afflicted.
I can assure our customers that we were not aware our manufacturers were sourcing diamonds tainted by the darkling Urla. We're strongly recommending customers who have not yet returned their purchases for a full refund to place a mirror in a bowl of black salt, mold a poppet in your image out of clay and your lover's hair, and then burn the poppet in the mirror before the next full moon.
Industry experts are calling this the most egregious safety oversight in jewelry production since 1973, when Zales disturbed the grave of the 16th century sorcerer Maelor.
Sometimes I wake up and I'm trapped in this oil painting of a German village.
They told us that there was a 68% chance that our child would be born with no soul. They sent us this disclaimer suggesting we leave the changeling in the wood and return only at our own peril.
This is the Onion News Network.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom, 855-450-3733. We're talking about, I'm not going to call it fake news. We're talking about satire. And people at CNN just freaking out because, for gosh sakes, the Babylon Bee, a satirical website, published a story that actually got more likes on Facebook and more retweets on Twitter than the actual news story did, having to do with the assassination by the United States of General Soleimani.
Yeah, Muslims aren't allowed to eat pork, so I doubt it's salami.
I doubt that too. But man, when I put my mind to it, or more to the point, don't put my mind to it, I can seriously butcher some names. Stick around. But this guy, Donnie O'Sullivan with CNN, was freaking out because the Babylon Bee was getting all these hits, and they weren't going to CNN, the trusted name in news.
Most trusted name in fake news.
Is that what they are?
Wow, surprise, when potential World War III is looming over people's heads, they'd rather go somewhere that can make them laugh.
Yeah, surprise. Why not? And do you really go I get it. I get it. And the only time I really seriously I'm in news mode is when I'm doing show prep for this show. And that's usually once a day. I scan the headlines and see what absurd things the United States government has done. But other than that, I just don't. I'm not like I was 10, 15, 20 years ago, where I was reading the headlines that were spoon-fed to me. I don't do that anymore. If I find something interesting, I'll dig into it, but I just don't. I don't follow the same model that CNN and Donnie O'Sullivan wants me to follow, and I don't know who does. We're going to go back to Discord, where we've got Turd Ferguson on the line. Turd, you still there?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys keeping me over through the break.
So you were talking about the Libertarian Party, and, the thought in studio is kind of like, well, they had a great opportunity. Ian, I think you're right. I think, if they would have ran a principled libertarian so we could actually get a libertarian point of view versus the neocon point of view, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, well, that's the way it used to be back when I became a libertarian, when they had a real libertarian candidate, Harry Brown, in the year 1996 and 2000.
Right.
And they did all right in 2004 with Michael Bednarik, and ever since then it's just been terrible. Bob Barr, the former Republican congressperson, I think from Georgia, war hawk, drug war hawk. They gave him the nomination in 2008. That was the year I resigned from the party in disgust. Gary Johnson is maybe a smidgen better than Bob Barr.
But Bill Weld was a lobbyist for Raytheon. And
then Bill Weld is the vice presidential candidate they had last year, the former Republican governor, so-called.
He's done with Republican. I'm a libertarian for life, and I'm never going back to the Republican Party.
And then rejoined the Republican Party shortly thereafter. And don't forget how he promoted Hillary Clinton from his campaign platform. He would be interviewed by CNN. And other places as well, and just talked about how great Hillary was, and it was bewildering to me.
A never Trumper, yeah.
So,
well, listen,
what about it, Turd?
Yeah, well, first of all, I never defended Bill Weld. Even on the times that I would defend Gary Johnson, I never defended Bill Weld. I always thought he was a statist and thought that he had no place in the libertarian ticket. Let me say that. But I think that regardless. And even if you think Gary Johnson, was a really poor candidate, statistically, the graph went up as far as people voting Libertarian in 2016.
But what is that worth? I asked you that before, right when we were going to the break. What is that worth to somebody voting Libertarian just because it's not Republican or Democrat?
I'll tell you. So it's worth the ballot access if that's what you care about. If you care about advancing the Libertarian Party, it's at the very least worth keeping the Libertarian ticket on the ballot in all 50 states.
But that doesn't.
But he didn't. Did Johnson come close to cracking the percentage necessary?
Well, it's different in every state, so I don't know what the different rules are across. I see what you're saying there. But that's a pretty high price to pay. You're not actually garnering awareness for the ideas of liberty. You're just promoting a candidate.
Well, you could start with the quote unquote diet libertarianism, and then once they hear about the non-aggression principle, of course,
they though?
Yeah, Gary Johnson couldn't really explain what it was.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever even tried, and you're right about that. But I think there are some people, yes, that got on board in 2016 and probably do now.
I think a lot of people got on board in 2008 and 2012 with Ron Paul running as a Republican.
Sure. We still hear about people finding freedom through Ron Paul.
Yeah. So I don't know. The whole thing has made me. I appreciate the Libertarian Party for trying to challenge, if nothing else, trying to put a challenger up against a two-party system that is rigged. It is, without a doubt, the most rigged political system, as far as I know, in the world. I think our system, for all our talk about freedoms and everything else, this whole thing is just crap.
I don't think it's impossible what you're saying, Turd, that someone could have, found the libertarian movement through Gary Johnson and sort of moved on from there and discovered the principle of non-aggression, the idea that it's not okay to use violence to achieve your political or social goals. I think that could have happened. I just have yet to meet that person. That's not to say that that won't happen in the future, but I can't tell you how many people I've met who have told me, yeah, Ron Paul's 2008 or 2012 campaign was what started me out and down this road. And that just hasn't happened yet with Gary Johnson. Not saying it won't. It could.
Hey, Turd, thanks for the call. We're going to stay on the phones and go to Larry in Indianapolis. Bear with me, Larry. Larry, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, the Libertarians ain't going nowhere. I know I tried to run as a Libertarian one time. They rebuked me and turned me away.
Well, that's good because you don't belong in the Libertarian Party, Larry. All the best.
I don't want to go there, but hey, check this out. You know how the political correctness is destroying this country?
It's one of the things. I'd say it's destroying the discourse in this country. Absolutely. I wouldn't say
it certainly is. It's Gable in everybody's mouth. And you know who predicted it? George Wallace in his speech about the Civil Rights Act of 1964, just like the Patriot Act, a penal code. Not anything remedial about it, but here's what it does. He said it was a hoax, a fraud, and a sham. And he said sometime in the future, this will make it so that you won't even be able to speak your mind because every word you say will be a booby trap to make you lose your job or be threatened of your position if you make any kind of comment. Nowadays, they have African Americans so hipped up on political correctness that if some black child hears somebody call them a Negro or the N-word or something, they go in fetal position and act like they're so hurt. People are losing their jobs
Sticks and stones
because of it. Hello.
Yeah, we're listening.
Yeah, I was just saying sticks and stones.
It's making it so that nobody wants to hire a colored person because why? Because they're afraid that if somebody says the slang language, one of my favorite sports announcers, Bob Lamey, he mentioned the M-word in a statement, talking trash, right? And this one colored woman sports announcer turned him in, and they fired him after he had been with our team for over 30 years. So I think political correctness, that's one of the things that's going to destroy this country. And if you want to hear about it, anybody out there, just go to pbs.org and get George Wallace's speech, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, a hoax, a fraud, and a sham.
Thanks a lot for your call, Larry. I appreciate it. 855-450-FREE. Yes, Larry is one of our African-American fans.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Dehibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on, so it naturally has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-infection, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. But maybe more importantly, Dehibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea builds corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. The tea is great for healthy people and can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. Dehibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea is only $34.95 plus shipping. Order now at shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. That's shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. shopsupertea.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855, 450 free. That's free as in freedom, free as in there's no such thing as a free lunch, 855-450-3733. I wanted to take a moment to tell you about local.bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy and sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or just meeting in person with cash. There's no ID requirement to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. In studio, it's Chris, Ian, and Vincent, and we have been talking about the Babylon Bee, your finest, I'm not going to say finest news source. I'm going to say a better source of news than CNN. And yes, I am using the word news because when you go there, you'll see on the headline that it's not news, it's satire. They're just poking fun at things. But Donnie O'Sullivan of CNN, he got all bent out of shape, really not about the fact that they published a satirical story, but the fact that more people were reading the satirical story and sharing the satirical story than were sharing anything about the actual story itself. He was parroting, this was from a retweet. He had retweeted a lady named, Cindy Otis, who is a former CIA officer, and she, of course, is writing a book about how to identify fake news. So this is what she's bringing to the table. and just, talking about this epidemic. Everything is an epidemic. Vaping's an epidemic.
Well, it sounds more serious.
Yeah, it does.
If you call it that.
So it must be an epidemic.
Don't forget the word crisis. They also like crisis.
Oh, yeah. Good one. Who was it?
Every politician ever.
Yeah, I know. But famously, Rahm Emanuel.
Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Absolutely. But yes, and they have really been portraying fake news it's a crisis. It's of crisis level. But satire is not fake news. It's a joke.
But for them, it's a crisis because it's undermining and eroding their credibility, right? Because, the worst thing you could do to an institution to discredit it is to make fun of it, especially if its behavior is easily mockable, or mockable. I'm just going to make up the word. And it makes sense that you have this CIA, agent writing his book about fake news, because it's the CIA and U.S. intelligence agencies that are behind. Was it Operation Mockingbird, where you have intelligence agencies literally creating fake news? You could look it up. I believe it's been declassified, Operation Mockingbird, where you would have these CIA liaisons in entertainment and news organizations. What was it like? Anderson Cooper is like the face of CNN, and he interned with the CIA before he joined
imagine that.
CNN. They have people like John Brennan, who is a former he was Obama's head of the CIA, and he's one of these commentators and such. And so the intelligence assets are very deeply embedded into the so-called mainstream news now.
Yeah, he in response to Cindy Otis, an author and former CIA officer who worried that Republicans on Facebook were circulating the satirical article as if it were a legitimate news story. Really, were they? Quote, "To put this in perspective, this is the same number of engagements the top New York Times and CNN stories on Facebook had over the past week." Well, that's interesting. It's probably the Babylon Bee probably had more hits on their satire than all the stories of last week from two of the biggest traditional news organizations. That doesn't surprise me.
Well, it's great news for them. And This is also great publicity for them. They ought to be thanking CNN for this coverage.
O'Sullivan added, quote, "A lot of people shared this, quote, satirical story on Facebook. Don't know it's satire," unquote. He appeared to suggest that the Babylon Bee was less than...
That may be true.
Yeah, it may have been.
That's a good satire story, has the ability to get spread in a way that people are ignorant that they're actually spreading satire. Who cares?
And it's not the Babylon's Bee's fault if people are gullible enough to believe it. That's why I remember when I think it was The Onion at one point had to put in somewhere visible on the side, but this is satire, and I was very disappointed.
Yeah,
because
you used to have to go to the About page and really read it before you could.
And
it's sort of like it ruins the joke by forcing them to do that.
But the Onion was an international news source. I can't remember how many times the Chinese press was publishing Onion stories. This is going back to the 1990s, early 2000s, just because it sounded almost plausible that, somebody in America could be doing some insanity.
By the way, according to Alexa, which is Amazon's website ratings system, not particularly scientific, but still interesting, the Onion.com is ranked at 8,009, meaning that it is the 8,009th most popular internet website globally.
Okay.
And Babylon Bee is at 15,237. So it's probably
Still
been gaining,
people, right?
Would be my guess on the Onion, but it's not quite there yet.
And can you pull up like CNN, for example?
Oh, yeah.
CNN, I think it's on like one of the top 10, maybe.
I would think.
No. Really? I can't imagine.
At least from when I looked it up.
They are sort of international.
Number 99.
99. Okay, so top 100 are somewhat close because, their articles are like, schools and colleges, some colleges, they use, they view CNN as being a legitimate source, much to their detriment. So understandably, we get passed around, right? You don't have CNN articles being taken down or censored by Facebook for being fake news, even though they might print. What was it? CNN recently lost that, or not lost, but they settled that libel suit with Nicholas Sandmann. So, I mean, gee, great source there, teachers.
Yeah. We're going to go back to the phones where we've got Tom in New Hampshire. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
This morning, I went out to meet presidential candidate Andrew Yang.
Did you get $1,000? Is he just handing $1,000 out to people that show up at his events?
No, he's only promising them $1,000 a month.
I want $1,000.
Me too.
Well,
I would have showed up, Tom.
When you about 60 people, and when you talk about the Free State Project, one of the things you got to remember is that you're talking about the state of New Hampshire, which has the first in the nation primary, and all the candidates.
The Free State Project, for listeners that don't know, is a migration of libertarian-minded people coming to New Hampshire.
So I set him up with a test question during the Q&A period, and I've set up Free Talk Live hosts on the air with this one too.
Oh, come
on. And it was, which amendment to the United States Constitution gives you the right to freedom of assembly?
That's the First Amendment. Well, you don't get the right of it.
None of
They're
them
not giving
give
you the
rights.
And he fell for that one, and I had to set it straight because it's important to remember that the Constitution does not give us that right. It's not a gift from the government. Right. It's like you own a house and you hire security guards to protect it, and then you're being told you should be grateful that the security guards gave you that house when it's just their job to protect it.
It's a good point, Tom, and I appreciate you bringing that up.
Can I point out that afterwards, when you go out to take selfies, I told them, listen, a lot of people resisted freeing the slaves, because I brought up the issue of zoning restrictions at a previous one of his meetings, and I thought a lot of people resisted freeing the slaves, and a lot of people lost everything when the slaves were freed, just like with zoning restrictions. But if you give everybody $1,000 a month without abolishing the zoning restrictions, it's all going to go straight into higher rents. Because people will be trying to compete against each other.
What was his response?
I mean, you got to have a place to live.
What was his response?
And he says that part of his plan is to come up with other options for housing that don't involve necessarily renting and stuff like that. He told me
you can take other people's houses and give them to other people so they get free housing plus $1,000. I think he's got my vote. Tom, thanks for your call. I think Andrew Yang's he's on to it. He's the one who is grasping. He is grabbing the give away free stuff. He's grabbing it by the horns.
And he's being honest about it too. It's not saying, "Oh, we're gonna forgive your student debt." No, we're gonna give you straight up $1,000.
Giving you cash.
I respect that a lot of him.
It's gonna be in small bills.
Hashtag Yang Gang.
Yang Gang. We're gonna talk more about Andrew Yang because I want to. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,552, silver at $17.90, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,825. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Iran's civil aviation chief is rejecting U.S. claims that Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was shot down by Iranian missiles as illogical rumors. On Thursday, Newsweek was among the first U.S. media outlets to cite an anonymous Pentagon official, an anonymous senior U.S. intelligence official, and an Iraqi intelligence official in a report claiming that the Ukrainian jet that crashed shortly after taking off from Tehran was struck by an anti-aircraft missile system. Newsweek's report comes on the heels of a Reuters report, which indicated that the crash of the plane had suffered a technical malfunction and was not shut down. According to Times of Israel, the report quoted 5 unnamed security sources, 3 Americans, 1 European, and 1 Canadian, as saying the initial assessment is that Iran's explanation is accurate. However, an unnamed U.S. official later told Reuters the U.S. satellites detected the launch of 2 missiles before the plane crashed. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. It's no secret that Bill Clinton was friends with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. But not only were the pair friends, Epstein donated significantly to the Clinton Foundation and reportedly played a role in creating the Clinton Global Initiative. The Mind Unleashed reports that it's been widely known that the former president was a frequent passenger on Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express. Clinton flew on the jet at least 26 times, sometimes with Secret Service and sometimes without. One of the most notable trips took Clinton to Africa in 2002, along with fellow passengers Kevin Spacey, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Ron Burkle. But now, thanks to photos obtained by The Sun, Clinton's adventures on the Lolita Express are more than just flight logs. According to a new National Bureau of Economic Research paper, approximately 100% of the costs associated with the tariffs on Chinese goods have fallen onto American importers and consumers. Activist Post reports it's a simple economic fact that those at the bottom of the production hierarchy, or the consumers, will pay cost increases for any reason. Tariffs are no exception. Research is consistently showing that the finite laws of basic economics don't get broken. In fact, the more government meddling in the issue, the worse it's getting. Free trade should be a human right, but governments of the world have taken it upon themselves to squash the freedom to trade with others for power and political gain. President Donald Trump has repeatedly and falsely claimed that China and other nations have paid the tariffs he levied on thousands of products over the past 2 years. But approximately 100% of those costs have fallen onto American buyers, according to the new National Bureau of Economic Research paper. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. JCPenney abandons its 45-second sale. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Word came today from JCPenney headquarters in Plano, Texas, that the retail giant will discontinue its 45-second sale. The bargain bonanza, in which all JCPenney merchandise is discounted by 60% for 45 seconds starting at 1 p.m. daily, simply wasn't pulling in enough revenue. CEO Alan Questrom.
The 45-second sale drew very strong customer response, but regrettably, only a handful of shoppers actually got to capitalize on our fantastic prices due to the horrific injuries they sustained during their stampede to the cashier.
Questrom added that plans are in the works to create a longer 2-minute sale intended to give frantic shoppers at least a fighting chance to enjoy incredible store-wide savings. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. Thank you for joining us for hour number 2. We do 3 hours of radio, live radio, with open phones every day of the year. Now, there are a couple times when we go do crypto conferences and things like that. We may not be in studio, but we're always doing a show between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern, wherever you're tuned. Even if you don't have access to a radio, we're on all sorts of media platforms, too many to mention. In studio, it's Chris.
Yeah, it's Ian.
And Vincent.
And I wanted to take a moment to tell you about the Edge wallet. Edge is a wallet that you will use to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies. It's available for iOS. It's available for Android. It's user-controlled, so you own your own money. You're the only one who has access to it, and that's a good thing. There's support for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar. The list goes on, and they're always adding more. They're a veteran team. They have been building apps since 2014. They've been around the crypto world for a long time under different... What was the original app? I know they probably don't want me to say that, but they did another wallet.
No, it was a really good one. Airbits was what it was called.
Yeah.
It was actually, in my opinion, it was the best Bitcoin wallet.
Yeah, and a lot of us used Airbits, and then we upgraded to the Edge wallet. Their tagline is, secure your freedom. They believe that. We believe that. You can find out more at edge.app. That's edge.app. And we spent most of the first hour talking about this outrage over the Babylon Bee, supposedly...
Well, there's not really outrage. It's just one person on CNN.
No, I think there's a lot of outrage.
Is there?
Yeah, amongst news organizations who are looking
They're
at...
jealous.
They're looking at the hits on stories that they put out, be it CNN, NBC, and MSNBC, probably Fox News, sitting there going, how'd everything play out? We got beat by the Babylon Bees satirical story
with a fraction of the budget.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, there's like a fraction of the staff.
And they use Snopes as their attack dog, where I remember Snopes ran a fact check on one of the Babylon Bees stories saying that CNN had to buy an industrial-sized washing machine in order to wash or rinse their stories. And I saw on the Babylon Bees Wikipedia page, it had a statement from the Snopes co-founder making a comment saying, well, the fact, the issue isn't us fact-checking the Babylon Bee. The issue is, why do people want us to fact-check the Babylon Bee?
Oh, my God.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm paraphrasing there.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
insanity.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, fact-checking, satire. I mean, if they should be the ones fact-checking CNN there. But.
Look, I get the frustration from the CNN guy. I mean, it's frustrating to have your audience dying off. I mean, that sucks.
True.
You're becoming less relevant over time, and the internet seems to be hastening your demise. That's really ultimately one of the keys to the reasons why these old medias are failing. Luckily, we're in radio, and it's not failing as hard and as fast as the rest of the old media. The old television and old newsprint, they're having a real tough time. So I can empathize with that. And who wouldn't want to have the audience? Like, we're in the world of talk radio.
Sure.
And talk radio on its own, when compared to other radio formats, is a successful format. It's usually number one or number two when it comes to billing, meaning that it makes more money, it gets good listenership. But when you compare it to all the other music stations combined, we're nothing. Like,
right.
A talk station in the business, when you get what they call the Arbitron, it used to be called Arbitron, now it's called Nielsen. Nielsen
right.
bought them. The old TV ratings company now does radio ratings. And so if you can get in a good market, if you can pull 5% as a talk station, you're doing really well.
Right.
If you can get like 7%, then you're doing pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And, if you could somehow get into the double digits, if you could get into tens, then you may actually be the number one station in the marketplace.
Interesting.
At that point. So there's way more people listening to music. So even though each music station may only be getting 7, 8, 6, 5% or whatever, all the music stations combined are obviously way more than the number of people listening to all the talk stations combined.
Right.
People don't want to hear serious issues. They don't want to know what the news is. It bothers them.
Yeah.
And, similarly, I'm sure we would all be really happy if this show had the listenership of, say, a Joe Rogan podcast or something like that, where it's not to say we don't have, some of our hosts have a pretty good sense of humor, but it's not a comedy show. We're talking about serious issues all the time. We try to have as much fun with them as we can. But it's not the same thing. And in my opinion, unless there's a huge renaissance in the way people think and the things that they want to pay attention to, we'll never have a chance to strike at that level of listenership.
And that is sort of us being replaced by new media, the same way that CNN...
we never were a big show.
Well, back in the day when we were, number one coast to coast and Imus was running out to... get our dinner for us. No, of course not. But it's just an example where... talk radio is suffering competition from not within talk radio, but from another medium. But the Babylon Bee actually struck back against a CNN reporter. What? What was the headline on this thing again? I thought it was great.
The headline, and it was published January 7th, was CNN attacks Babylon Bee. The internet is only big enough for one fake news site. And this was shared 270,000 times. So CNN has slammed the world's best satire site, the Babylon Bee, after CNN executives realized that fake news articles on the website were getting at least as much social media traction as their own. Quote, "There ain't room in this internet for both of us," growled one CNN anchor on the air Monday morning. "There simply aren't enough people out there for us to fool with our fake news stories." And
the headline was true. The headline was 100% true.
Right.
That's exactly what happened. The quotes, that's been made up.
Now they're
Well, yeah, and they have
satire.
Brian Stelter on the in the thumbnail there. Reporters, I'll just finish a quote. "There isn't enough clickbait and outrage traffic to go around." Reporters at the media outlet also pointed out that their news was, quote, "much faker than the Babylon Bees." "They are obviously amateurs over there at the Bee," said Brian. Excuse me. "We're obviously amateurs over there at the Bee," said Brian Stelter. "A lot of times their reporting comes true. If you're going to do fake news, do it right."
They hired Mickey Mouse?
100. Well, he has such a fruity voice, it's easy to imitate. 100% fake. Guaranteed. 24/7. "They really should learn from the pros over here at CNN. Stay out of our territory," he growled.
That wasn't a growl.
Not much.
I don't think he's capable of one.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't even know who this guy is. I've never heard of him.
His show is called Reliable Sources.
Okay.
Right.
So it's totally Orwellian. He could work for the Ministry of Truth.
Yeah, and I remember, I used to watch CNN. Of course, I'm, 7 or 8 decades older than you two, but I used to watch CNN. I started watching MSNBC in the mid 90s. Mm-hmm. Fox News came along. That's pretty much what I switched over to because there wasn't a whole internet available. The internet was very, very young. And, well-defined, good websites were just starting to be considered. And so I got most of my news from cable TV once CNN hit. And
when was the last time you watched cable television news?
Oh, God, I don't know.
You're in their demographic.
Yeah, I am, but I still...
Or close to it.
Yeah. I don't. I can't remember flipping on the TV. I know that.
Do you have television, like satellite or cable?
We stream stuff.
Okay.
So I think we probably turned it on when there was, I don't know, maybe a wildfire or something. I don't know.
When was this? Within the last 5 years?
Probably within the last year. I came up with some reason why I tuned over there, but it was obviously not a very memorable occasion.
But you didn't have it on television. You had to go to the internet and find streams?
Well, no. Normally I would stream. No, we use streaming services like YouTube TV or things like that where
so
I
they
can
have
get
the channel?
Actual channels.
I see.
Right.
I see.
And we do watch occasionally our local New Hampshire actual TV news.
They got that too,
station,
huh?
Sure.
Wow.
So yeah, those things are giving people alternatives, and the alternative put forth by CNN. I think CNN and Fox News are just partisan now. That's only thing they have to offer is the talking points from left or right, and I'm not interested in that. Are you? Maybe you are. Do you watch news? 855 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Back in January, February, I'd get home, make myself something to eat, blah, blah, blah. My girlfriend works nights. By 8:30, 8 o'clock, I'd be in bed. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, if this is what the rest of life is like, I'm doomed. Today is day 14 of me taking Balance of Nature, and my energy level's through the roof. It took me 5 years of hearing it on talk radio to actually try it. The difference is night and day.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. For years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping build one, Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for our community. At its core, it's a directory of events, businesses, and digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network so you can connect and share with others. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. That's Liberty.menu. In studio, it's Chris.
It's Ian.
And Vincent.
And we had been talking about the Babylon Bee, but we're going to move on to a news story where Atlanta has taken an interesting step. Of course, like every major city in this great country of ours, of course, every great country has to have a completely insane war on drugs that makes the entire populace the criminal, and that's what the war on drugs does. It says that everyone who is not an enforcer is a suspect. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say that everyone's suspect. Sure.
Yeah, everyone is.
That's why they had stop and frisk back in New York City and D.C. and a couple other places.
Yeah, the idea that because you choose to put something into your own body, be it whole or unprocessed milk, or marijuana, or hallucinogenic mushrooms, when you're not hurting anyone else, the only one that could possibly be hurt by you ingesting something is you. Now, if you do something while you're on something that hurts someone else, well, you're liable for that.
No matter your state of mind at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So this wasn't, the war on drugs was never about, protecting people or doing anything. It was about trying to criminalize certain groups that were opposed to Richard M. Nixon's re-election. And
hippies and blacks, if I recall correctly.
Yes. The idea that if we go after...
And that's from what one of Richard Nixon's own guys came out and admitted later on.
John Ehrlichman famously came out and said, we knew what this was going to do. We wanted to make the hippies who smoke pot, we wanted to make them arrestable. We wanted to be able to subdue them, keep them away from the polls. And we were going to do the same thing with blacks. And because in those days, heroin was more of a ghetto problem. And that way we can take them out. Now, really, and as reality has come about, I mean, the biggest problem with opiates is probably in suburbs as opposed to inner cities. It's much more of a middle class devastation than it ever was for the ghettos. But Atlanta is taking an interesting step on this, and the Atlanta Police Department is disbanding their narcotics unit to focus on, guess what? Violent crime. Who had ever thought
Can't believe this.
Police would focus on stopping violent crime? It is kind of a...
This is amazing. I can't even... This is so shocking. I never thought I would see this day.
Yeah. This is interesting. This comes to us from WSB TV.
That's a real news
Atlanta,
source.
Real news source. I can't remember what network they are, but they are on TV down there too.
Cox owns WSB.
Cox, there we go. Atlanta. The Atlanta Police Department is disbanding its narcotics unit. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Wynn confirmed the change on Tuesday, with the department telling him that those officers will be getting reassigned to other units. Atlanta police officers suggested the move is not abandoning the drug fight, but about reducing violent crime. Quote, absolutely, it's a risky move, unquote, a veteran APD narcotics officer told Wynn, asking not to be identified. Quote, I'm sure there was a lot of thought put into it, but I don't have all the numbers the higher-ups at APD have.
So this is their spokesperson? Oh, no, veteran narcotics officer.
A veteran narcotics officer.
An anonymous.
Who says, I don't have all the numbers that the higher-ups in APD have, but I wouldn't recommend it. Spoken, unquote.
He wouldn't recommend cutting his department?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah.
I know that may come as a shock that he would not recommend cutting his own department. In a statement, the department told Wynn, quote, we know that illegal narcotics trade is often at the center of criminal activity fueled by guns and gangs. The department is decentralizing its narcotics unit in recognition that the violence that surrounds this trade should be the focus of the entire department, not just one team. We have had tremendous success at targeting the sale of illegal narcotics by tracking violent crime and getting illegally possessed guns off the street. Quote, violent crime and gang activity must be the department's primary focus and where we will have a greater impact on the crimes affecting those who are most often victimized in our communities, unquote.
Well, if that's true, I gotta hand it to him. I mean, there's a lot of kind of cover your ass sounding language in there, like, oh yeah, we're still gonna go after drugs, and I believe they still will.
You have no doubt.
But yes, by no means is this some sort of carte blanche to get out there and start selling, openly in the streets. That's probably not a good plan. But if they really are going to be focusing on violent crime, then kudos to them for that shift, because honestly, it's hard to disagree with the police doing that sort of an investigation. I can't really, even though I don't like that they're funded on a coercive basis, and I disagree with the existence of the idea of the state and its coercive funding apparatus, if the police are going to exist, if we are going to have a monopoly on protection services, which is what we have, that's what the government cops are,
sure,
then I'd rather have them investigating murder and rape and arson and robberies and beatings and things like that. That makes more sense. And if you pick up somebody with who happens to be a drug dealer who is violent, I got no problem going after that person if they are hurting other people with violence.
Right. And I'm not sure about Atlanta. I know I have never seen heroin physically attack someone. I have never seen a joint bludgeon a man to death. I have never seen any of those things. And I think we should not be amazed that police are taking a tact where we're going, no, solving violent crimes, that should be our focus.
And you usually don't hear Atlanta as being like an epicenter of violent crime. Usually it's like Baltimore, Oakland, Los Angeles.
Well, Atlanta is definitely a fairly violent place from what I understand.
Well, I'm just saying like in regards to like the most violent places in the country when you talk about gun violence. Like Baltimore's the worst, I believe, and D.C.
Yeah. And Chicago's pretty bad because the population has been disarmed. 855, 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to is probably so swamped with applicants that he or she is tough to reach. So call early in the day, before 8 a.m., before the palace guards arrive. You'll need your prospect's direct number, and here's a sneaky way to get it. Suppose the company's main number is 555-5000. You should call 555-5012. When someone says, "Good morning, Pam Johnson," you should innocently say, "Oops, somebody here must have written this down wrong. I was calling for Tom Frederick. What's his direct number?" If the very next thing you hear isn't Pam giving you Tom's number, it may be, "Good morning, Tom Frederick." For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live.
The amount of young people being brought up on criminal charges, sex offender charges, for taking nude photos of themselves and putting them online. It's just so sad to see these people having their lives just rolled right over the top of by these prosecutors that want to make it look like they're doing something good, but they're not doing anything that's helping anyone. There's no victim in this case. When you hear the term child pornography, what should come to mind, if anything, should be the idea of forcing children into sexual scenes and videotaping or photographing them.
Forcing children or somebody...
Even if it's a child forcing another child, I think the force is the issue there. If you're talking about a 15-year-old girl voluntarily choosing to take a nude photo of herself to send to her boyfriend or to post online, no one forced her to do that.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. Call in. This is an open phones radio show. You don't have to talk about what we're talking about. You can change the subject. That's pretty cool. There aren't many shows like that around anymore, but we're one of them, and we are dedicated to it. Are you doing anything April 3rd to the 5th of this year? LibertyCon is a unique liberty convention, April 3rd to the 5th in Washington, D.C., for people who want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations. This is a lot of people to see, talk to, network with. Hear from a list of incredible speakers. John Mackey of Whole Foods, Vernon Smith, Nobel Prize-winning economist, Miriam Issa, pop culture expert, political commentator, Nasir Taleb, amazing author, and there's still more.
Nassim Nicholas?
Nassim Taleb. I'm sorry.
Sorry. It's a foreign name.
And I always forget the book he wrote.
The Black Swan.
The Black Swan. Excellent book.
I liked it. I read it in jail. Someone sent it to me while I was there for civil disobedience.
Really?
Yeah.
Vincent, you and I should go to jail, and that way we could read it too.
Get a lot of reading time in there.
Uninterrupted. And there's still more. There's more to find out. Go to libertycon.com for more details on additional speakers and events, and use code FTL for $10 discount on your registration. Student travel scholarships are available, and discount rooms are available for everyone at the Marriott Marquis in Washington, D.C. Save with early registration at libertycon.com. Use code FTL for a $10 discount. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And Vincent.
And we have been talking about Atlanta. This is just amazing. Disbanding their narcotics unit within the Atlanta Police Department.
I hope other police departments around the United States follow suit. I'd like to see the end of the drug task force here in New Hampshire. That'd be great.
I gotta wonder how many no-knock raids the APD narcotics unit has to do a year.
I don't know, but that
was ton.
It was, I believe, Atlanta many years ago. I think it was probably like a decade or more ago, where a woman who was 96 at the time was, I believe, shot to death in a no-knock raid in her home. She had picked up her gun from her nightstand to defend herself against what she presumed was, just your standard home invasion.
Right.
She pulled a gun and they blasted her to death. I'm pretty sure that was Atlanta where that one happened.
Unbelievable. We're going to go to the phones where we've got Ralph calling in from Maine. Ralph, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, you were talking about fake news a little earlier and how the standard news media has they just tell lies. That brings to mind two different instances. One was when the first Gulf War, there were two CNN reporters that were live over in the Middle East, and they were under attack. They put gas masks on and had a whole routine going, and find out that it was filmed on the rooftop of CNN in Atlanta. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
I don't. It seems like I remember something about
I
that.
heard of it, and it's like the plants they used look fake, or something had to do with like a green screen. It's murky, but I do distinctly remember that, and I did see the video where they put on the gas mask. It looked like a Command and Conquer cutscene.
Yeah, and then the other thing, it's more recent. You got Rupert Murdoch, who owns like Fox News and Wall Street Journal, New York Post, and all kinds of news media around the world. Well, he had James Woolsey on, ex-director of CIA, on Fox News, and talking about how we need to go into Syria and blast away and all that. But what they don't mention is that Rupert Murdoch is on the strategic board of directors of Genie Oil, along with James Woolsey, and the other ones are Dick Cheney, Lord Rothschild, the bankster, Bill Richardson, Energy Secretary, and Mary Landrieu, she was the chair of the House Energy Committee that passed the U.S.-Israel Energy Cooperation Bill.
So Ralph, I mean,
Genie Energy struck oil in the Golan Heights, which was Syrian-occupied territory.
Right.
There's more oil in this oil strike than Saudi Arabia has. See, so
does this surprise you? Does this surprise you when these guys act? When these guys act hypocritical, when they spew out news stories,
does this?
Right?
They want us to kill people so that they can make billions of dollars.
Right, but does that surprise you? Are you surprised by that?
Me anymore.
Does it surprise you that the news organizations controlled by these very same people would not lie to you every day that you're watching mainstream media news?
They should be brought in front of a panel of justice. We need new Nuremberg trials for all these news media outlets that are propaganda arms for their war profiteering.
But who's going to try them? The very same people that they're tied together with in politics?
Well, versus The Hague, which is international court.
Yeah. Who? Exactly.
Yeah, and
won't be a Democrat or Republican because they all line up behind their leadership and do what they're told.
They do. Hey,
and they're all compromised.
Ralph, thanks for your call.
I don't know if The Hague is going to have jurisdiction over American news media.
No, so we're just going to have to do an good old-fashioned lynching.
Well, how about this? How about just not watch their product and don't share it? I mean, you don't have to kill anybody or string them up from a tree. You can just ignore them, and then eventually, if enough people do that, they'll go away.
Right. That's what happens, folks. If you're just complaining about CNN and you sit there and go, I turned on CNN today and I couldn't believe what I heard. I tuned into Fox News and you wouldn't believe the stuff they were saying. I'm sharing this Fox News story just because my Democrat friends won't believe it. I'm sharing this CNN rubbish. You're just perpetuating it. Don't do that.
Well, this is what they don't want. They don't want people to find alternatives. Which is funny, though, because they attacked the Babylon Bee. We talked about this in the first hour of the show. CNN reporter just laying an attack out against the Babylon Bee, which is actually publicity for the Babylon Bee.
Yeah.
So it's great news. Now, of course, CNN's audience is dying off and shrinking, but it's still good publicity. It's still free free mentions in a mainstream media publication for your alternative news source. Anytime you can get that, that's a great thing. Even if they're lambasting you and trying to rake you over the coals, it's going to draw people to the site to see what all the hubbub's about.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what CNN doesn't want to do. So they are unwittingly actually promoting their own competition by doing that. That's what we need to see happen, and it's what we'll see happen more often as these old media entities are sort of clawing their way. They're in the they're like the dinosaurs, right? And the sort of dying off. They're in the I'm looking for a word.
They're cannibalizing each other.
They're cannibalizing each other, but they're sort of like in the pit trap. Trying to get out there.
It's like shuffling chairs on the Titanic.
That's a good way.
You could look at it.
Dinosaurs shuffling chairs on the Titanic after a meteor hit.
Here's your visual. Yeah, it's insane.
They don't know what to do. That's why you see these news media sites reporting on Twitter. I mean, how many times have you seen a headline about top tweet, whatever hashtag is leading Twitter right now, or what someone said on Twitter?
Trump said X, and Twitter responded. That's the usual thing. It's just so lazy too because they don't have to interview anyone.
They just copy and paste.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, or embed the tweet.
Right, and I'm sorry when Fox News is reporting on, Meghan Markle's dress. I mean, what do you expect? You're either going to be serious news or you're not going to be serious news. And if you're not going to even try, really,
that might as well be People Magazine if you're reporting on people's
TMZ
dress. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the idea. People will just read People Magazine when they can't find it online, I guess. Nobody's going to read anything.
Magazine's also dying.
Yep.
Big time.
So what do you think? Is fake news a problem? 855-450-FREE. I don't think it is.
Hey guys, it's Sue Cosner, your favorite sexual health expert, with another version of Ask the Pro. This month, I got a letter from Sandy in Seattle about an explosive bedroom secret she and her husband recently discovered. She writes, Dear Sue, my husband and I used to have a great life in the bedroom, but in the last few years, he has struggled. He's tried about everything, but nothing has worked. Then one day he came home and gave me a night I will never forget. He told me about this secret formula, Noxatril, that changed our life in the bedroom once and for all. Wow, Sandy, you beat me to it. I recommend Noxatril to every guy that struggles in the bedroom. It's the only one. Noxatril is all natural and works to increase blood flow fast. It's like that little blue pill on steroids. Noxatril has a special free bottle offer, shipped discreetly to your door.
To find out how to get your bottle of Noxatril, call 800-421-0954. 800-421-0954. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now. 800-421-0954. 800-421-0954.
Tahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus doesn't grow on. So it naturally has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-infection, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. But maybe more importantly, Tahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea builds corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. The tea is great for healthy people, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. Tahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea is only $34.95 plus shipping. Order now at shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. That's shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. Shopsupertea.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-453. That's 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. That's the number you can call to get on the air. You can join us in studio. It's Chris,
Ian,
and Vincent.
And I wanted to tell you about Balance of Nature. Good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great. However, eating right all the time can be a challenge. Travel and work schedules can get in the way, or you may not just have the desire or time to shop and cook the right foods. Balance of Nature has the solution with just 3 of the Balance of Nature fruit capsules and 3 of their vegetable capsules. you'll get 10 servings of fruits and veggies. That's a lot of nutrition. For a limited time, you can get free shipping plus a free set of fruits and veggies. Go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL. That's balanceofnature.com. We've been talking drug war, and Ian, you've got another story. Well, it's not really about the war on drugs.
No, it's about mushrooms.
It's good news this time.
Psychedelic mushrooms and a very large study. But we got to talk to David, I think, first on the line there in San Francisco.
All right.
He's been waiting patiently. So
he has been. We're going to go to the phones. David in San Francisco. David, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, well, I sure appreciated that earlier caller talking about Genie Oil Gas. That is one ugly company. And, when you start thinking about the deep state and, coups in the world and whatnot, Genie Oil Gas is one of those ugly realities that not only do they exist, but they are on the boards of directors. And I don't know if that earlier caller is familiar with a book that came out. I'm not sure if it was actually in the 1950s, but there was a guy named C. Wright Mills, M-I-L-L-S, and he wrote a book about the interlocking directorate, where all of these boards of directors would be on each other's boards.
Sure.
And that was kind of how the establishment, the deep state, whatever you want to call it back then, was put together with the interlocking directorate.
So in the beginning of the war on terror and the wars and the everlasting wars in the Middle East, everybody was talking about Halliburton. Everything had to do with Halliburton, who was,
Didn't they change their name?
I think they might have. I don't know.
Yeah, it was Brown and Root. Yeah, in fact, Lyndon Johnson, President LBJ Lyndon Johnson, just before Nixon, he was one of his biggest corporate sponsors was Brown and Root, which was I think that's the parent company of Halliburton.
Oh, I was thinking of I wasn't thinking of Halliburton. I was thinking of the mercenary group.
Blackwater.
Then they changed it to Z, and then they changed it to something else. Sorry, I was confusing the two.
Right, and as a matter of fact, now there's news that Monsanto ended up buying it. So if you think that, yeah, and you just do a search of actually, if you look it up as Z.
Don't they call them the Terminator line?
Terminator seeds.
Right, yeah, and actually, if you go into the history of Monsanto, they were like a Nazi chemical company based in Portugal, if I remember right. And they were one of those corporations that were allowed to escape and do business in America after World War II. And it was.
And not to say that no one can't be forgiven for past sins. It's like Volkswagen. I don't really have anything against Volkswagen.
Oh, we had one, but the name of the game was whether or not.
Did you get my point?
Or IBM's, computers used to help sort out Jews and prisoners during the Holocaust.
Sure.
And,
by the way,
no one ever brings that up.
I did just check this claim, David, and they say they did not buy Blackwater. That's apparently the Nation magazine started that rumor.
Be fake news.
Well, that's what they want
I'm not sure if I'd keep searching. Don't jump at the first straw.
I'm just letting you know what they say.
Right. But the point is, it's hard. You really do have to be your own filter. So you can find something. You could probably find 10 things that will support a point of view that you hold. But maybe you need to, find 15 and find out that, wow, a lot of people are actually questioning this.
Well, I guess the easiest way to go is, did somebody secretly buy Blackwater or Z? And that's,
if it were secret, we couldn't know.
Well, it was admitted that it got sold, but nobody was. It was like what do you call them? A financial arbitrage company, or I'm trying to think of what the expression they're using.
Oh, like
lately.
they use a shell company in order to buy it.
And I guess that's sort of in speaking about fake news, or I have no problem with conspiracy theories. I think that's a healthy thing in a democracy. I think we should question what we're being told, not just by news organizations, but by our government.
I was brought up in St. Louis, and that's where Monsanto was headquartered when I was a kid. I'm baby boom.
Okay.
And I had 5 different friends of mine, their fathers worked for Monsanto. 5 of them.
Thank you for clarifying that.
4 of them all got fired within like a year of retirement, so that Monsanto could steal their retirement. And then the 5th one was lucky to escape that trap because he came down with like Parkinson's disease and had to go into medical rehab. And so he got off on the medical discharge on the dime of Monsanto. But in the outskirts of St. Louis is Times Beach, Missouri. And Monsanto had a subsidiary that made Agent Orange, and they didn't know what to do with all of the what's that horrible chemical that they poisoned Times Beach,
Agent
Missouri.
Orange is pretty terrible.
Yeah, and they ended up, they secretly injected it into an oil pipeline, and they were, what is the name? It's like the most poisonous chemical known to man.
But again, am I surprised that you've heard stories about Monsanto doing something with hazardous waste disposal? I've heard that about lots of different companies, and
well, they're supposed to.
And it's easy for me to say, well, David, you haven't shown me the proof. I'm just going to take it for granted that lots of companies do lots of things to get around insane government regulations.
Well, chemicals are chemicals. And are you going to say it's a right-left issue if you get poisoned by, some hazardous waste?
No,
and
I don't call it left or right. I call it the government evil and most people not evil. That's how I look at it.
It's not the government doing it. It'd be a private company doing it, Monsanto.
Right, but I'm saying
a highly connected private company, connected to government.
It's still a free market, so as long as they do it, as long as they do it for, and not coercive, as long as they're not using stolen tax money, it should be all right according to a libertarian.
They use coercion because they patent things. And like these Terminator seeds, right, where they tell these they tell the farmers, hey, you can't use, you can't reproduce these things. We're designing these seeds to where you can't reproduce them. You have to keep buying the seeds from us. You certainly can't use our strains without our permission. And there's a lot of bad things that you can say about Monsanto. And I would say keep to the facts and keep to the stuff that's really clear, because there's plenty of bad stuff that's, clear and uncontrovertible about what they've done. I will say this, according to their corporate affairs press release, they say they have never owned Blackwater or any part of Blackwater, nor do we hire them or their affiliates, nor do we own or hire them under any other name like Z or Academy. But here's how I think the idea got started. Says, like a lot of companies, we try to stay aware of threats to our employees or our business by keeping an eye on publicly available information such as websites and news reports. Sometimes we've hired outside companies to help us with this. Between 2008 and 2010, we hired a company called Total Intelligence Solutions, or TIS, to help us monitor publicly available information. In 2010, The Nation published a story about Blackwater. In that story, the reporter said TIS was part of Blackwater and that TIS had spoken with us about having their people join animal rights groups, meaning like secretly. And as I said, he says, we did hire TIS for a while to monitor publicly available information, but we were told specifically at the time that they were not part of Blackwater, and they certainly never joined animal rights groups or any other group for us. We don't have contractors infiltrate third-party groups on our behalf, nor do we do this ourselves. He says, as near as we can figure, the article seems to be where the idea got started, but the article itself doesn't say or even imply that we ever owned Blackwater or any part of Blackwater. It's still available online if you'd like to read it. And then he links to a tweet from 2013 from Jeremy Scahill, who was the author of the Nation piece, where Scahill says on his Twitter, at Jeremy Scahill, Monsanto did not buy Blackwater Z Academy. Please stop with that BS. So I'm going to say they probably don't own it. That's what Jeremy Scahill said on his Twitter.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Hey, David, thanks for the call, man.
Yep.
A little bit of research can uncover the truth. Some of this stuff. Or at least an alternative.
And I encourage everyone to do that. Don't take what's spoon-fed you, even if it's coming from a source you know. Question everything. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog. Fur
for life. The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,552, silver at $17.90, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,825. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Iran's civil aviation chief is rejecting U.S. claims that Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was shot down by Iranian missiles as illogical rumors. On Thursday, Newsweek was among the first U.S. media outlets to cite an anonymous Pentagon official, an anonymous senior U.S. intelligence official, and an Iraqi intelligence official in a report claiming that the Ukrainian jet that crashed shortly after taking off from Tehran was struck by an anti-aircraft missile system. Newsweek's report comes on the heels of a Reuters report, which indicated that the crash of the plane had suffered a technical malfunction and was not shut down. According to Times of Israel, the report quoted 5 unnamed security sources, 3 Americans, 1 European, and 1 Canadian, as saying the initial assessment is that Iran's explanation is accurate. However, an unnamed U.S. official later told Reuters the U.S. satellites detected the launch of 2 missiles before the plane crashed. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. It's no secret that Bill Clinton was friends with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. But not only were the pair friends, Epstein donated significantly to the Clinton Foundation and reportedly played a role in creating the Clinton Global Initiative. The Mind Unleashed reports that it's been widely known that the former president was a frequent passenger on Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express. Clinton flew on the jet at least 26 times, sometimes with Secret Service and sometimes without. One of the most notable trips took Clinton to Africa in 2002, along with fellow passengers Kevin Spacey, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Ron Burkle. But now, thanks to photos obtained by The Sun, Clinton's adventures on the Lolita Express are more than just flight logs. According to a new National Bureau of Economic Research paper, approximately 100% of the costs associated with the tariffs on Chinese goods have fallen onto American importers and consumers. Activist Post reports it's a simple economic fact that those at the bottom of the production hierarchy, or the consumers, will pay cost increases for any reason. Tariffs are no exception. Research is consistently showing that the finite laws of basic economics don't get broken. In fact, the more government meddling in the issue, the worse it's getting. Free trade should be a human right, but governments of the world have taken it upon themselves to squash the freedom to trade with others for power and political gain. President Donald Trump has repeatedly and falsely claimed that China and other nations have paid the tariffs he levied on thousands of products over the past 2 years. But approximately 100% of those costs have fallen onto American buyers, according to the new National Bureau of Economic Research paper. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This is the Onion Week in Review. Apparently oblivious of the dismal fiscal climate, local dog Digby is wolfing down kibble as if the United States isn't in a goddamn economic crisis. Sources say the shockingly selfish 4-year-old German Shepherd appears callously unswayed by the constant stream of gloomy market forecasts and continues gorging on brand-name pet foods, milk bones, and table scraps as if the U.S. unemployment rate hasn't been above 8% for the past 3 years.
Here we are tightening our belts while this dog scarfs down bowl after bowl like the Dow Jones Industrial Average has gone through the goddamn roof or something. You think that he'd think twice since U.S. credit rating's been downgraded, but Digby doesn't give a damn. Ain't that right, Digby? You don't give a flying f***, do you?
The Onion solemnly bids farewell to the 22 crew members who perished during the production of today's Week in Review. You will be missed. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network. Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's our toll-free number. 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris.
It's Ian.
And Vincent.
And Ian, you got a story. We barely scratched the surface of it, but we're talking magic mushrooms.
Yeah.
Psilocybin.
It's true. And finally, we're starting to see some scientific studies being done on things like magic mushrooms or MDMA, looking at, what can these drugs that have been illegal for so many decades now, for some people's entire lifetime, what can they actually do to help people? Turns out quite a bit. This story from the Waking Times at wakingtimes.com, published, I think, yesterday, so it's pretty fresh. For many years, psilocybin, this is Philip Schneider reporting, the psychoactive compound found in magic mushrooms was considered too dangerous for consumption. But recent studies on its effects have shown no long-term damage from its use, and the FDA has now classified it as a breakthrough therapy for depression.
Nice. Have they authorized? Well, I'm sure your story will get into it, but
I don't think you can acquire it legally yet.
Can't get a prescription for my magic mushrooms.
These are things that may be possible in the future.
Sure.
In phase 1 of the largest ever controlled study on psilocybin, and it's still not humongous, but it's the largest one ever. 89 healthy participants. Usually you hear over the years it's been a dozen here, 25 people or whatever, relatively small samples. And now you got 89 people were healthy participants were either given 10 milligrams 25 milligrams, or a placebo of the drug. Now, off the top of my head, I'm not recalling what a normal dose of psilocybin is, so that would be something we'll have to consult Arrowhead on. So arrowhead.org, of course, great website.
I know what a dose looks like on a slice of pizza.
Yeah, because, well, a lot of people take mushrooms in the sort of the raw form, meaning they just eat the caps, as they call them, and you don't ever know how much psilocybin is actually in a cap. You can have a very large cap that may not have as much psilocybin as a cap that's slightly smaller than it. So you can weigh the mushrooms, but that still doesn't really give you any real idea of the dosage.
And what I've heard is that psilocybin has been kind of distilled into liquid forms. Like a lot of people will take liquid forms of psilocybin where the
I don't know how common it is, but
I don't know.
I've come across it before, and it's very good.
I have here, what I usually use for these questions is psychonautwiki.org, and so for psilocybin mushrooms, it says here, and a common dose is 1 to 2.5 grams, while like a strong dose is 2.5 to 5 grams.
Yeah, but that's not the actual amount of psilocybin. They're registering the amount of the weight of the mushrooms themselves. And that's pretty much the only way most people can.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the potency. It says, what was it here? 0.5 to 2% of a dried weight of a mushroom.
Well, I'm not going to say anything, but I did try mushrooms for a month one night, and and what was most interesting about it, and this was when I was much younger, and I had taken other hallucinogens like LSD and things like that. I found that mushrooms did not make me feel horrible the next day.
Yeah.
I didn't feel with LSD. I felt that part of my mind was missing.
Yeah.
Now that wasn't a long-term effect, but I always felt that I pulled a muscle, and it was just sore for a while, and it took a while before it rebounded.
They're both psychedelics, right? Like or entheogens. They're both they have similar effects. I'm not going to say they're the same, but whenever I've done mushrooms after whatever the trip length is, usually 4 to 6 hours, it's relatively short. It's usually shorter than LSD, and I always want to go to sleep.
Right.
Whereas if I take LSD, and this is common with LSD, they have acid sleep, which is like you're kind of like laying in bed and your mind's racing and you're not really sure if you're asleep or you're awake, and you kind of morning comes and you're not really sure if you really got any sleep or not.
Now, I found the best thing to do on acid sleep, if you do wake up, it's best to swim from your bed over to your Barca lounger and then climb out of the water onto your Barca lounger.
Wow, you tripped way harder than I have, my friend.
Yeah. I'm just trying to imagine what a videotape of that. I climbed, I had to come down off of the mountain, the hill that my bed was, and I rolled down into the water, and then I had to swim across my bedroom floor to my Barca lounger. Yeah.
So back to the story here. So they gave 89 participants either 10 milligram, 25 milligram, or placebo over 25 sessions. So this wasn't like a one-off thing. The participants would go through therapy sessions in a group of 6 for a period of 12 weeks. The results of the study are clinically reassuring and support further development of psilocybin as a treatment for patients with mental health problems that haven't improved with conventional therapy, such as treatment-resistant depression. This according to the study's lead investigator, Dr. James Rucker. So they're trying this with people who have not, had a positive effect from typical therapy. And this is sort of like a last-ditch solution, and it turns out to be particularly effective. They're actually still in the middle of the study with Phase 2, while researchers attempt to discover whether 216 volunteer patients will see improvements in depression where conventional treatments have failed them. Rucker said, quote, "We're focused on getting psilocybin therapy safely to as many patients who would benefit from it as possible and are grateful to the many pioneering research institutions whose work over the years has helped to demonstrate the potential of psilocybin in medicine," unquote.
I know that it was like a year or two ago, but there was a headline that said that magic mushrooms had proven to be the safest drug someone could take, safer than even marijuana.
That's right. That was actually Professor David Nutt. That's N-U-T-T. He is the former drug czar of the United Kingdom.
Wow.
he came up with a chart based on two factors. It was comparing all the typical bad drugs based on the damage to oneself plus the so-called damage to society.
Interesting.
And they ranked alcohol and heroin as basically tied for number one.
Yeah.
And several others were on the list. And mushrooms were, I think, at the bottom of that list.
And that struck me. And that at least encouraged me that people would continue to do studies. Now, when the government puts drugs like psilocybin on, a schedule and says that we restrict any even studies or any research into this, that just shuts it down. And so here's this thing that the government has had, has been clamping down on for 30, 40 years, pretty much since the beginning of the drug war. And now we're finding that there is evidence that it may be something that could really help a lot of people.
Right, and they say here that magic mushrooms are the opposite of antidepressants, notes leading psychedelic researcher Dr. Robin Carhart-Harris. Carhart-Harris pointed out that where pharmaceutical antidepressants leave one's emotions blunted, psilocybin brings them out for the patient to deal with and move past in a healthy manner.
That sounds good.
And that's something that people who've done psychedelics over the years will tell you that it will force you to confront whatever issues that you've got lurking within you.
Right.
And
it's sort of like
for some people that can be terrifying.
Right, I'm sure.
It's like it's sort of like a benign version of, of a Purge movies where like once a year they say people have to get out all their violent impulses. But with mushrooms, sort of like you do get out, all that negative emotions and negativity, but, in a positive way. Instead of going around killing or robbing, you just want to go into a corner and cry.
So I'm just curious. Who owns psilocybin? Is that Bayer? Is that Merck? What drug company owns psilocybin?
I mean, maybe somebody has filed for a patent, but can you patent something that's on Schedule 1 or 2 or whatever?
Could you patent a fungi? Excuse me. Could you patent a fungi, something out of nature?
That's my point. And
so, could I patent deer or cats?
And drug companies, using the power of the U.S. government, will try to jump in and claim. I mean, there have been so many patents on THC and on marijuana that drug companies have tried to put in place so they can say, well, this is really us and this is really what we discovered. Therefore, if you use it to address this, then you owe us a bunch of money. $8.55, $4.50 free. We're talking drugs. And some
shrooms,
surprisingly
plants.
Good news on shrooms. This is Free Talk Live.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the 3rd tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe. Great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
But no itchy, harsh chemicals.
Lather up, rinse away.
Try Doggo Suds. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk. 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. That's the number to call in and get on the air. Talk about whatever you like. But first, I wanted to tell you about Divvy, the next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org. In studio, it's Chris.
It is Ian.
And Vincent.
And we're talking magic mushrooms. Some interesting studies coming out. A very large study indicating after, and fairly extensive, that the largest study really showing evidence of some real positive things may come out of therapy with magic mushrooms, with psilocybin. That's the active ingredient in magic mushrooms. Ian's telling us about that.
Indeed, they have done yet another study. This one is the largest one ever, with 89 participants receiving either 10, 25 milligram, or a placebo. And what they have discovered is some pretty impressive stuff, supporting further development of psilocybin as a treatment for patients with mental health problems that haven't improved with conventional therapy. Magic mushrooms, they say, are the opposite of antidepressants, giving the patient the opportunity to actually deal with their emotions rather than blunting them with pharmaceuticals. After studying psychedelics has been legalized in recent years, research has consistently pointed to the notion that psilocybin can help patients overcome depression. Now, I don't know if it's legalized as much as it has been allowed with permission.
Yes, I think I'd characterize it that way.
Yeah, I mean, they still have to go and basically beg the DEA and the FDA to do these studies, as I understand it. But they are getting the permission to do them, so that's, different than what happened, say, in the 80s and 70s and 90s.
And I think that was a very good comment. My experience with antidepressants and basically pharmaceutical mind-altering substances has been through our kids. Unfortunately, our kids were teenagers. They were teenage boys, and teenage boys are going to have problems because of girls, and they're going to become depressed. And during the early 2000s and the 2010s, if you go to the doctor, they're going to say, "Oh, that's terrible. Let's get you on some drugs." That was their answer for everything, and all it was blunting their personalities. I mean, they weren't addressing anything.
You've got to solve whatever the root is if you want to be able to make yourself better.
Right, but you don't really need that to get a kid addicted to Prozac. Or lithium or whatever they're giving them these days.
And even younger, too. You said, what was it, like teens and preteens? Like in some cases, we're giving it to, in a lot of cases, you have elementary school kids getting it.
Yeah.
Because of behavior. We're like, they have behavioral issues like fighting or doing what, normal stuff that, young kids do, or for fidgeting. That's it. It's the attention drug, the mood stabilizers and attention drugs, too.
ADHD
They give
stuff.
Yeah, they give a kid, I think it's like the legal medical equivalent of meth because, young boys and, it's mainly boys. Young boys don't want to sit still getting lectured by, some old lady for 8 hours, at school. Gee, who knew? Oh, we gotta give these kids drugs.
No, that's kids being kids. And, I think we did a real disservice to a whole generation or more generations. It was just sad. And, me as a parent going, well, I should be listening to the medical professionals. They're telling me that this is what my child needs.
And it's not even a professional. A lot of the times it's the general practitioners, right? People who are just like, who can't, they can't help cure a sore throat. They have to, you have to recommend you to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. But, for some reason, they're all able to say, oh, yeah, here, I'll write you a prescription for, legalized meth.
Well, it certainly started there.
Suicide, mass murder pill, Prozac.
Right. And then you go on, and I can say that, we had experience with two boys growing up in their teen years. The worst they ever acted, the most trouble they ever got into was when they were coming off of those drugs. Without a question. It was just insanity. And I apologize. Alex, if you're out there, I'm sorry.
According to the Center for Psychedelic Research at London's Imperial College, magic mushrooms could replace antidepressants altogether within 5 years due to a low rate of adverse effects compared with pharmaceuticals. Well, I'll say this, it's not going to be that easy because the pharmaceutical companies sure as hell don't want their products to get off the market.
They're going to lobby.
They're going to keep pushing, and they're going to push against this. But Dr. Robin Carhart Harris, who, again, was one of the folks involved in the study here, says, quote, "The implications of that are actually frightening to me, thinking of the power and influence of big pharma. What are they going to do with that if there's this big public demand for the mushroom therapy and not Prozac?" Although magic mushrooms are showing promise while used in a controlled setting, I don't recommend that anyone go out and take the drug without knowing that it's safe and legal to do so. This is whoever's writing the article over at wakingtimes.com.
That's definitely not my opinion.
If you do find yourself under the influence of psilocybin, make sure that you don't operate any heavy machinery, such as driving a car. If you start to get anxious or paranoid, remember the effects only last a few hours, and you'll be completely back to normal within a few days. You're probably not going to accidentally come down with psychedelic mushrooms in your body. That's usually a very clear choice that one decides to make. And if you are going to do psychedelic mushrooms, remember these studies that they're doing are with the assistance of a therapist. So there's actually a professional there who, knows how to ask the right questions and in order to elicit the discussions that need to happen. But that said, these are relatively safe on the scale of drugs. There's still research that you really ought to take some time to do. like what they call harm reduction techniques, things that you need to know. Set and setting, very, very important. That you be in a place that you're familiar with, surrounded by people that care about you, preferably with what they call a trip sitter, somebody who is either going to stay sober during the trip. That's the ideal trip sitter, somebody who is not going on the trip with you but is going to be there in case you need some help with something. Preferably somebody who has experience with psychedelics. That's your ideal trip sitter. You don't want to be there with somebody who doesn't know how to handle
I'm freaking out,
those,
man.
Yeah, those sorts of situations. So those are some basic recommendations for you, but there's a lot more that you can.
Unless you're a real man who does it in the middle of nowhere in the woods without knowing where you are.
Good call. What about you? Have you taken magic mushrooms, and do you want to admit to it on national radio? If you do, give us a call, 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I started taking them about 7.5 years ago. It was right after I lost my husband. My husband passed away. I was grieving so bad I wasn't eating at all. I mean, I just didn't care. And so I heard the advertisements on the radio, and I thought, well, my family's upset about me. I got to get myself straight, and I started taking them. So I always say they kind of saved my life, They gave me back my life. I would say that.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait on account. Now. Wait a minute.
Really pretty on the road.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855. Man, I'm just stumbling over that phone number. What is it with this phone number? 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I'm sorry. Every once in a while, that number pops into my head, and then is just as quickly it's gone. But I wanted to tell you about ForkFest 2020. Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 29th to July 5th for ForkFest 2020 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and ForkFest is decentralized, which means that no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 29th until July 5th. What better way to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for ForkFest, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with other ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forum. Links to those are found on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. That's forkfest.party. And while we're talking liberty lovers, I wanted to say thank you to Ron Pepper. Ron is a gold amplifier. That means he's made a pledge to send $10 to help advertise, market, and promote. Get it? Amplifier. This radio show, and help us get on more radio stations. That means the ideas of liberty will get in more heads, and that's what we want to do. So thank you very much, Ron Pepper. We appreciate it. In studio, it's Chris, Ian, and Vincent. We've been talking psilocybin. Ian has been telling us about a story, the largest study on psilocybin being done recently, and evidently with the approval of Uncle Sam, they have to okay everything. If you're going to look at any sort of treatment, you're going to call it a treatment, then that means it's theirs to decide with whether you can do that or not, which I disagree with. I'm not saying that the USDA has never done anything of value. I'm sure they have at some point, but everything you ever put into your body, it's your body, you own it, shouldn't require a government permission slip.
Indeed. And so this is great news. There's really not much more to the story here. They do point out that mushrooms are not habit-forming, magic mushrooms, although they are illegal. So, they're not going to be addictive. And in my experience, when you do psychedelics, it takes away from the specialness of it to do it more often. To do it often, to do it more than maybe a handful of times per year, maybe 3 or 4, something like that. Although that said, I have done some experimenting with microdosing on psilocybin.
Did you?
Yeah, and I got to say, there's something to that.
Really? So the idea behind microdosing is to take a very small measured portion, so you're always knowing exactly how much you're taking. But from what I've heard, it's never enough to get you intoxicated. You're not going to be hallucinating from microdosing. Is that a fairly accurate description? You're trying to reap the benefits, but allowing yourself to continue on about your day.
Correct. Yeah, it's not going to make you curl up into a ball in the corner at the microdosing levels. It's just going to maybe tune you in a little bit more, tune you into different things a little bit more than you typically would during your workday. You're going to be able to get stuff done.
Right.
Have either of you heard the theory that with LSD, there's like for something like the brain or in the fat, it traps some of the chemical that at any point, even when it's been like months after you've taken the acid, you could start tripping. Is there any truth to that? From
the flashback? Yeah, I've heard. I've had other friends of mine have told me they have experienced them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know the science behind it. I could believe it.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was a real thing or something that people use just to
just
as
excuse.
a fear. Yeah, just as like a fear tactic. Like if you smoke too much cannabis, your hands are going to get hairy or you're going to go blind.
Yeah, I heard other things but yeah, I don't know. I mean, and that's the whole thing. When the government clamps down on all research for every single drug, then you are left with basically urban legends as what you have to go by. I'm very glad that they are loosening up their minds a little bit about psilocybin, which this is not new. I mean, people have been talking about the potential positive effects of psilocybin for years. And, starting maybe a couple years ago, we started to see some scientific research being done on it. And in just that short a period of time, you have cities basically, again, it's not really decriminalization. They're just choosing to look the other way regarding possession of, or we're going to arrest people we see are tripping. I'm not sure how you could look at anyone and tell that they're on marijuana or on hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Well, I mean, don't the mushrooms? Don't they make your pupils larger?
I thought it was acid that makes the pupils. Well, so a lot of these things make the pupils.
There's also
but also
over-the-counter drugs can do the same thing.
Contact lenses can make your pupils large. Oh, and you said it was for years. People have been talking about the benefits. I mean, some people think it's even longer than that. There's a Terence McKenna, who's a very well-known ethnobotanist. I mean, he's a proponent of a stone-to-ape theory, which, from just my brief knowledge of it, it's where the reason why, if you believe in all of this, the apes that became humans, the reason why, if these apes started to talk and make society and, have higher levels of thinking than like chimpanzees or gorillas is because that they ate the psilocybin mushroom, which grew off of cow dung. And so that's by eating that by tripping, that's how they're able to have their minds evolve into the violent. Well, which actually doesn't make any sense because usually mushrooms don't make people violent, and then these apes became the most violent apes in the jungle. So maybe that doesn't make sense, but it's something to look into, definitely.
Right. It's just good to look into things. I mean, and when government says you can't do it. And when industries are built around, manipulating the government to make sure they benefit that industry, big pharma is a thing. I know that because you can't get anything that's a well-known drug. You're going to find out if you try to make it that they've got a patent on it for the next 10 years. So we're going to keep that, no generics are available. They just restrict the marketplace, and they have set the bar through the FDA so high in terms of what they're willing to do that it really removes any potential competition. And that's what they're doing through these regulations. The idea that we could take natural things, people could use marijuana and perhaps cure what ails them. If we can address the victims of PTSD with therapy and psilocybin, that doesn't leave a lot of room for drug companies to make profits. So I don't know what's I hope this continues. I really do. And I hope people demand it of your government. They're supposed to work for you.
It's going to be slow going. I mean, look how long it's taken to get cannabis decriminalized or legalized in various different states. You still have most of the states where it's still an illegal, it's still a crime, supposedly, to possess a plant.
Yes.
I mean, it could be that mushrooms are the next plant that goes through this process. In fact, we have seen Denver, Colorado did have a ballot initiative. I believe Oregon, I think had a statewide.
I don't know what
Portugal just decriminalized all drugs.
That's right.
Yeah, which makes the most sense.
Doesn't enforce it.
Yeah. 855-450-FREE. We're talking drugs tonight on Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live.
You've seen crazy diets to lose weight. At GCN Team, our healthy body weight loss system simply neutralizes the body, bringing down cravings. It has been proven that nutritional deficiencies drive appetite for carbs, sugars, and fats. Lose weight the easy way. Find us at gcnteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Fighting cravings is a fool's game. Give the body what it needs to be satisfied. Again, 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Message and data rates may apply.
Help! Seriously, I'm too young for hair loss.
My hairline keeps creeping back. Receding?
I got this bald spot. It's thinning everywhere. I'm gonna have to give up and shave it.
Dude, put down the razor, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is about to give you your real hair back permanently. Don't ignore the signs of hair loss. Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit that reveals all the signs, and a free gift card to anyone who texts KIT88 to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Using the latest technology, Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Plus, since Bosley has new non-surgical options, you owe it to yourself to text now for an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off, no matter what level of hair loss you have. Text KIT88 to 85850. KIT88 to 85850.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens. We support the amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Jeunesse products are designed by leading doctors in their field with natural ingredients and even stem cell technology. These products help your body perform and look better. Shop Jeunesse at gcnlife.com or call 1-844-443-6637. gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. That's our number. It's our final segment, but there's still time to get you in and on the air. In studio, it's Chris.
Hey, it's Ian.
And Vincent.
And we have been talking drugs, but we're going to go right from drugs to driving.
Woohoo! All right.
Absolutely. It
Freedom.
sounds like fun.
Bad combo, kids. Don't try this at home.
This story comes through us from Jalopnik.
Unless you're on a private track. I mean, if you're on your own track, you can do whatever you want with your car.
Be my guest.
Yeah.
But this article says it's entitled, "Let's Debunk 3 Myths About Seemingly Illegal Things You Can Do While Driving." So I don't know about you guys, but I have always heard that there are certain things that are just illegal because there must be a law against that, so it must be illegal. Like the first one they list, you can't get in a car without shoes. You can't drive barefoot.
I've done it.
I've done it
times.
too. I
like the way it feels.
Well, do you think there's a law against it?
Oh, yes, there is. I think there is.
Do you?
Is there?
Have you ever driven barefoot? I won't lie to you. I've done it. This is the author speaking. And I'm not ashamed to say I kind of liked it.
Mm-hmm.
The ridged rubber of the pedals feels kind of satisfying, and I think you can get much more precise throttle control with your non-shoe
I think he's right.
encumbered foot. Almost every time driving barefoot comes up, though, some pedantic prude is likely to mention that driving while barefoot is illegal. You know what, though? It's not.
Oh, really? Well, that's wonderful.
This guy did the research. No state actually has any laws making barefoot driving illegal, so don't take any guff from people trying to tell you it's against the law.
Nice.
Your feet are not criminals. They're just the hands of your legs, and if they want to serve you foot gloveless, you can legally let them. So, according to this gentleman, he's done the research. There is no law on the books in the United States against driving barefoot.
Yeah, it might be a little stinky, but otherwise it's relatively fun.
How about this one?
I prefer it especially on long-term drives, because it's more comfortable. I hate having my feet. During the summertime, I'm always in sandals. I don't like having my feet enclosed. It's one of the worst things about being up here during the wintertime is that I constantly have to have my feet enclosed. And if I get the opportunity, I'm gonna shuck them off, and you're just more connected to the vehicle that way.
Right.
I feel like
that's what this guy says. How about you're driving at night? You got somebody else in the car, and you flip on the interior light because you want to find something. They're like,
turn it off.
Turn that light off.
They're gonna pull you over.
You get pulled over because you can't have your interior light on.
I've heard this one.
This is another one of those things that I've been told is illegal since I started driving, though admittedly, as far as crimes go, it's a lot closer to loitering than, say, murder. But is it actually illegal to drive with your interior dome light on?
Now,
Sure.
before he gets into the answer here, the argument is going to be the reason it should be illegal. I'm not saying I agree with this, but the argument is that if it's nighttime and you turn a light on, it will restrict your ability to see in the dark. So, just like,
It's going to affect your night vision.
Yeah, back when you had friends and they had a flashlight, they flash it in your face or whatever, and you couldn't see anything after that because it restricts your night vision. And that's the reason why, if it is illegal, that's likely the rationale behind it.
Sure, having the interior light on inside the car can impair your vision out of the car or at night, but there are actually no laws on the books that say it's illegal. It may be possible to be pulled over for something like distracted driving, and illuminating the interior light may be cited as part of the reason why, but as far as the interior light itself being on, that is not illegal unto itself.
All right. Good to know.
How about this one? This says that the government has come up with a law that says rear windows can legally only roll down partway.
No,
the back.
I've never heard that one.
No, in the back seat, the window usually only rolls down like halfway.
That's some sort of supposed feature that they put into cars to stop kids from crawling out the window.
Because,
right?
Remember back in the 70s, that big epidemic where kids were diving out the windows of cars? Do you remember that? Like, you go down the highway, it was just littered with the bodies of children left and right who committed harakiri because they were sitting in the back seat. Well, this turns out it's not that, and I'm not going to go into the whole explanation. But this author blames it on lazy engineering.
Huh.
So the back seat of a car is usually much closer, really right up next to the rear tires of the car.
Right.
And the wheel, as you open the back door, cuts into the door. There simply isn't
not enough room
to roll the window down all the way.
So they weren't thinking about the kids.
Right. And if you think about how car doors are designed in the back seats, you'll always see that. Interestingly enough.
I don't think you always see it. I don't think all cars are that way.
Probably not.
But it's pretty common.
It is, and it's one of those things. I just thought this was kind of an interesting story and something we could kind of goof on, because I'm surprised that the government hasn't felt it is in their purview to make driving with the interior light on illegal. I'm amazed that there isn't a law against driving barefoot because the government has to say what you can do and can't do. We're going to go to the phones where we've got David in New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
The never-ending government officials committing crimes in the state of New Mexico. Like an update on this mayor of Las Vegas, New Mexico, Tonita Gurule Giron.
Have we heard of this one? Have we heard of this one yet?
Google Las Vegas, New Mexico mayor, and she'll pop right up. She resigned yesterday. She resigned yesterday, after insisting that she would not resign, but she changed her mind after the New Mexico Attorney General Hector Bald Hairless indicted her on 6 felony counts of bribery and what else does it say? Bribery
accepting kickbacks. That's what it says here.
She had a boyfriend who was a contractor, and she, the mayor, would steer contracts to her boyfriend. And then she would receive kickbacks from him after he got paid by the city.
An arrangement as old as government itself.
Yeah, and she was she was doing other cute stuff, like when the city council was trying to vote her out of office. Apparently, their city charter allows them to get rid of her by voting her out at a city council meeting. So what she did to avoid that is she canceled the city council meeting so they couldn't vote her out. So
wow,
you guys, at least she's
you don't, it's not like you have a lock on all this corruption. I mean, stuff does happen everywhere else. We get a much closer view into New Mexico than anywhere else. No, I was just going to mention, a Kentucky judge is facing 9 misconduct charges, including sexual harassment.
9 or 9?
9 different counts, including sexual harassment and retaliation. And I don't know if they get into it in this story. She was also charged for having one of the things was having a threesome in her family court, I guess in chambers.
Is that what they call it now?
That's what they call it now.
Well,
yeah, it's just crazy.
I'll see your sexual harassment Kentucky threesome judge and raise you a New Mexico State Senator, chairman of the Judicial Committee, who just got sentenced to 5 days in jail for aggravated DWI.
Woo! Another one.
Man.
Now, aggravated DWI, that's where he hurt somebody, right?
Well, he actually, it could be for different things. In this case, it's a double aggravated because he did hurt somebody, and he refused the breathalyzer test, which is an automatic aggravated DWI. So yeah, but he got sentenced to 90 days, 85 suspended, of course. So he's going to spend an actual 5 days in jail. Yeah, and he sent people. He rear-ended an SUV and sent the people to the hospital, and they got the lingering injuries and could have killed somebody. So he gets 5 days because he could have killed somebody.
Well, that's what happens. Other than that, they're just out there doing God's work. David, thanks for the call. And that's all the time we have for you tonight, but don't fear. We will be back here tomorrow between the hours of 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern. If you're listening, we'll be here. This is Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,552, silver at $17.90, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,825. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Iran's civil aviation chief is rejecting U.S. claims that Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 was shot down by Iranian missiles as illogical rumors. On Thursday, Newsweek was among the first U.S. media outlets to cite an anonymous Pentagon official, an anonymous senior U.S. intelligence official, and an Iraqi intelligence official in a report claiming that the Ukrainian jet that crashed shortly after taking off from Tehran was struck by an anti-aircraft missile system. Newsweek's report comes on the heels of a Reuters report, which indicated that the crash of the plane had suffered a technical malfunction and was not shut down. According to Times of Israel, the report quoted 5 unnamed security sources, 3 Americans, 1 European, and 1 Canadian, as saying the initial assessment is that Iran's explanation is accurate.